So let's talk success on this week's CouchPiece series. What does it look like to you and to me? How do we identify its value? How does the pursuit of it shape our lives? One dictionary definition of success says, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, whereas another dictionary definition simply puts it as this: a favorable or desired outcome. From these definitions, it's apparent that success can mean different things to different people, and even to those same people, it can change depending on the circumstances, the changing circumstances and variables. We hear of successful men and women, and they're usually presented to us as role models with the following accompanying attainments or even attributes. They could either be wealthy, famous, or both. They could have achieved significant achievements in the area of academics, sporting, professional attainments. They may even have succeeded in achieving things for the altruistic pursuits on behalf of societies, nations, global attainments. They may even have managed to succeed against the odds, from rags to riches, and so be a point of reference for those who are needing inspiration to overcome their circumstances. They're role models because they model character traits that we would like to develop in ourselves. Sometimes the achievements of these men and women is as a result of the character development or the enrichment of their character, but not always. I would like to view success as an outworking of an inner prosperity. What about you? Let's go on to analyze and just screen this idea of success, our idea of success, against the backdrop of what is often presented to us. Success, the measure of. So, how do we measure success? If we go by the earlier definition of success as an achievement of an aim or purpose, then it would stand to reason that for us to be successful, we would have to have achieved an aim or purpose or goal. Preferably, this aim or purpose is one that has been acknowledged by the person who it's been presented to. Aims and purposes or goals are easier to identify when they're being institutionalized. They've been set out in a formal sort of format, and everyone can identify it. So you have mission statements, you have team goals. You may even have mottos that, maybe families operate within, or groups, or, communities. You may have these goals being regularly assessed and appraised, or you may even have award ceremonies where you have or regular ways of rewarding good behavior or good conduct, where you have these traits being celebrated and upheld. It's usually with the intention to motivate others to aspire and even to achieve or compete against these desirable goals. However, where success is measured or rewarded by materialistic attainments such as money, house, car, fame, rather than inspiring noble character, it can work to the contrary. It can actually lower the standards and inspire corruption. This is because when people look lustfully at the outward attainment without actually understanding or appreciating the value that undergirds it, they will pursue those outward attainments, the bling, at the expense of the true value. The pursuit of wealth and largesse as an end in itself can often be a blind pursuit. This is because it fails to take into account the growth that has led to the attainment of these trophies. As one wise saying goes, prosperity destroys the fool. This says to me that those who attain riches or wealth without the enriched character to, undergird it, will often end up abusing those very gifts, or even abusing themselves. One saying comes to mind: uneasy lies the head that bears the crown. This says to me that for every achievement or status comes a requisite weight of responsibility with accompanying challenges. Therefore, when it comes to success, the measure of it, we're not so much looking at one size fits all, but rather at a situation where we would be better to refer to cutting our coat according to our size, or even costing our coat according to our ability to bear its price. As we began to agree at the start of this reflection, We all find success desirable, and why not? After all, take away success and you're not merely looking at failure, since failure can be one of the milestones en route to success, but you're looking at a sort of an absence of an identified goal or purpose. In other words, without having identified that purpose called success, that target, that goal, you're essentially succumbing to a life that could be termed a purposeless life. And even the mere mention of a purposeless life comes with associated ideas, such as being uninspired, being visionless, and even hopeless. You see, success serves as a compass that points us in a certain direction and dictates the sacrifices we make, the way we shape our lives in order to attain that goal. It dictates the choices we make and the things we adopt and the things we let go of. As human beings, we appear unconsciously wired for success, in that we tend to grade ourselves, whether consciously or unconsciously, in whatever endeavor we lay our hands to. So we find ourselves assessing ourselves as whether we're good parents, good spouses, good friends, good colleagues, good work employees or employers. And it doesn't help that you have days set aside to celebrate these roles that still end up making us put ourselves under the torchlight of whether how well we measure up against these ideals. So you have Mother's Day, Father's Day, Siblings Day. The more I strive to live a life that is authentic and purposeful, the more I realize that the things we set as our goals ultimately determine the values we hold dear as we strive to be the best version of ourselves. This is why peer pressure or even herd mentality can be a very strong influence, because it speaks to our mindlessly adopting under pressure the value systems of others before we've had a chance to interrogate them and adopt them for ourselves. You see, we're all designed to be different, and this is a good thing. Everybody has a vital role to play, a vital voice to contribute to the harmony of the global choir called society, where when we go to a store, we try on the clothes that we're presented with to ensure that they're flattering. In the same way, let's ensure that the presented versions of success is a right fit before we subscribe to it. That brings us to the end of our reflections on success. Thank you for being a part of it. My name is Ekene, and this has been my CouchPiece series for this week.